Hi everyone, it's Veroosh. Welcome to my channel, and this is your reading for the new moon in Virgo on August. I did it again, September 6th and 7th. If you don't know, in my last video, which is the astrology feature for this transit, I said August 6th, and you guys let me know. You let me know that I said the wrong thing, but thankfully on the screen it said September, so I hope I didn't confuse you guys too much. Yes, the new moon in Virgo is happening on September 6th and the 7th in Virgo at 14 degrees. That means the sun and the moon are in Virgo, and I have some things to tell you about. So you may be new, so hi, how are you? Welcome. If you're new here, basically what I do is a couple different readings. This is in the process of changing. It's just a lot of content I'm figuring out how to put together for you all. But for now, there is a separate video that features astrology. And so in that astrology, I explain exactly what's going on. I tell you guys the exact transits, the whole shebang, and in great detail. Today, what we're going to do is talk about the tarot, which I actually filmed first. And members, you guys get an extended for that. It's already in the members section. Thank you so much for being members. You guys are awesome. And then I am going to do an astrological summary, which is a shortened version of the astrology without the transits. So just tell you what's going on. And if you're like, what does this mean? Where is this coming from? Watch the astrological video that's linked in the comments in the description. And then at the end, I have this feature called the activated chart positions. And what I do is I tell you the dates that are triggered by this current transit, the new moon. So I will tell you what dates, whether it's your birthday or an anniversary or some other special date, which dates are going to be experiencing this the harmony of this new moon the most. So I hope you are enjoying these. They are going to change, but for the time being, we're putting out about 2 videos for each lunation. Lunation for my nation. Okay, I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Thank you. Love you. Bye. Hi everyone. So here is your collective message for the new moon. This one wants to be seen. So Page of Swords, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, information coming in that's important at this time. There's definitely a lot to do with communication to do with this new moon. I'll get to that in the astrology section. Members, the extended is going to be up for you guys, listed in the cards as well in the comments. Everybody else, maybe you should try and check your members, your playlists for your sign, sun, moon, and rising. There's a lot of videos there that are still relevant that you can watch now. Okay, so let's take a look at your collective energy for the new moon. Morgan Greer Tarot, we have 5 of Cups. Something is no longer as disappointing as you thought it would be. The main caveat to that is that you have to choose to not believe in sorcery, in fakery, in all these sorts of things. Not magic, that's not what I'm saying, but you choose what you believe in. And if you're actively deluding yourself or not believing in something good, then that will cause you a lot of distress. But if your inner voice is not telling you any warning signs, then you're definitely distancing yourself from disappointment or feeling sad about things or feeling sad about how other people behave or what's been going on around you. The next message is the Knight of Swords, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, very airy energy, strong air qualities. These are just general overview messages, not necessarily the sign or the gender. There's someone who is likely an air sign who is bringing forth important information to you at this time. This is insightful information. There's an urgency. You can see this is a very urgent looking card. It's probably one of the most stark cards in this deck. I think that there's an urgency with which this person is coming towards you to tell you important information or truth about something. Women, ladies, I feel like you are overcoming a lot of personal blockages, things that are in your way, things that have piled up. You're persevering through difficult times and rising above the darkness of the past. If you are dealing with another female, things are improving and they are overcoming any kind of conflict feelings to do with you. So if it's two females and you're friends, it's very likely that there will be a reunion in friendship, a reunion, a reconnection, or something like that. We have the Six of Cups next, which is Sun in Scorpio. This is Cancer, by the way. So in terms of the masculine energy is extremely reminiscent or nostalgic at this time. So you may hear from people in the past, men from the past, or maybe someone in your life who is a male or male identifying. They will in some way want to have a conversation about the past and rehash old things. Then we have the Five of Wands. Now, you know, my deck is upright, so this is a little different, but we don't mind the Five of Wands in the reverse because it just means that there's going to be an overall energy of overcoming conflict with others. Getting on the same page with others will be happening through this new moon as well. Finally, you're on the same path. I feel like you're really releasing a lot of the like hang-ups with other people, difficulties in your path or struggles that you have been experiencing. The next message is the Two of Wands in this position. Someone in your family sees things from a different perspective. Some of you may have been waiting for someone to finally get it, and you've been waiting a really long time for them to understand either your side or your circumstance, and I think you'll see that they are finally understanding where you are coming from. Then we have the Star. So this is the card of Aquarius. And so I think that where you are going, it's getting closer to not the final destination, but a significant destination in your life is getting close. And so it's becoming very clear which things are right for you and which things are not. And I think that there's more of an urgency, or you're feeling a sense of defending your perspective or your territory, your side of things. Then we have the Lovers as the next card, and so I find this card is very important. So where your heart is at this time is with your family, and is with, especially if you're married, is with your partner. So no matter what is happening at this time through this new moon, you are going to be feeling a great deal of connection and desire to feel on the same page as the other person. I feel like many of you are reconciling your feelings with regard to this person. So, you know, if there's been family discord or disagreement or even frustration and anger, I feel like whatever has caused that isn't necessarily well, I guess it entails forgiveness, but there's definitely an energy of it not being such a problem anymore from a genuine place, from a very genuine place. Okay, then we have the Hanged Man here. So if you're waiting on a partner at this time, if you're waiting on someone to give you an answer in a relationship type situation, male or female, I think that what this is indicating that you will still be alone for a short period of time. They are making up their mind and understanding your side of the story or your situation, and so they will soon come around, but it might be at quite a little bit of a later point than you assume or you think. The next message is the Four of Wands. So anything to do with the home, anything to do with like buying a home, decorating your home, cleaning your home, everything to do with family, spending time with family, having dinner, those kinds of leisurely activities, they are going to bring you so much success at this time. So whether it's going to have dinner with your family, if you're invited for dinner, going there, or taking care of your home and your family, this will really turn into a really beautiful thing moving forward for you. So the attention to home life and making a comfy, cozy home for yourself is very important. The next message is the Page of Swords. So that came out right at the beginning. You know what? There's a very important message that is coming to you. There's a sense of urgency. There will be some kind of, and it may be any sign. I really feel like there's some very important news that many of you will hear. This will be positive in nature. It will bring calm into circumstances that were maybe in limbo or suspended or waiting a decision. But I feel like things are coming in quickly. It's time to move fast. So as I said in the Virgo season video, this Virgo season is much more airy. It has a huge air component to it. And so because of all the Libra transits as well as the Aquarian transits. So it's not your typical Virgo season where, it's just very earthy. And the more that we get into it now, even towards the new moon and past it, we're moving into air and then water frequencies. And so these heavy air frequencies have communication as their center point. Thought, communication, ideas, and so forth. And so these ideas are coming to you now, and you're meant to interact with them. Not every single one. Please don't pursue things that are not good for you or that don't make you feel good or that are not helpful. But at this time, communication can really push things ahead for you. So be on the lookout for, decisions being made, talking about things, figuring out the plan, even signing documents or deciding how you will approach a situation in terms of communication, working things out. So and it's an opening here. It's not a closing. So something's improving, something's being talked through, worked out. It's not an attack. Then you have the Eight of Pentacles here. For many of you, work continues to be very stable. What you do to make money or what you do, like your 10th house activities, it's not always to make money. Some people do all sorts of different types of work, but that is very consistent, very focused, and on point. Let's see the next card. We have the Nine of Cups. So this is a message not for everyone. Of course, these messages are for some, not all. If you have someone in your family who has a substance issue and they keep on disappearing because of that substance issue, whether it's emotional or physically actually not being around, I think that some of this is going to change. Now, let's not, send false hope, because of course substances can be notoriously difficult to part, but there's something about them and their relationship to their substance abuse or use that is changing for the better. There's an improvement. There's a decrease in laziness. And I'm not saying people who use substances are lazy, but there's something to do with being passive that's being removed. So it's a ray of hope for some of you, and it's a sign that somebody's coming back around more in a clear state. So you get that person's attention, or that person is around a bit more. Then we have the Hermit in this position. If you're dealing with a Virgo, there's a continual improvement in a relationship there. If you are dealing with a Virgo male in particular, this is a very strong indication that this relationship is improving, but it's a careful and steady improvement. So just keep doing what you are doing. Don't overthink it. You can't overthink it. It will work out in its own way. Let's see the next messages. We have the King of Wands, Sag, Leo, or Aries, secondary transit in fire as well. Don't let another person with high ambitions get in the way of what you are doing. Even in good intentions, this person can meddle, and this person can stir things up and cause delays or other types of problems. I don't feel as though this person is negative towards you in the sense that they wish you ill or anything like that. But I do sense that this person, may have a boundary issue where you begin. I feel like this card is really interacting with this card. So in this card, I see you working really hard. This person seeing that, but I feel like in some way there's a lack of understanding of what that means. So either they're not familiar with your line of work, or they're somehow disjointed from it, disconnected from it. So be very wary of, I would just say whoever this represents in your life, male or female, maybe a fire sign, I would say don't get too deep into things with them. Don't say too much. Don't explain too much. Keep it short and polite if you have to interact with them, but other than that, try to avoid them. Still, there's a clarity in this situation, which means that if this has been an ongoing issue, which I think for some of you it may have been, it could have been very Five of Wands in the upright, which means that there was confusion, there was a lack of communication, there was some type of difficulty there. And so now I feel like there's a release of that and an improvement. So it's like leave well enough alone is more the message with this person. I have a feeling that this person doesn't have the capacity to understand. So it's like me being a tarot reader, astrologer. I often tell people that I just do marketing when I know them in real life because they just don't understand. So I just don't, go there. And it's just a better way to explain things. So yeah, I'm a marketer, and it's true because that's what I do, and this is partly marketing, right? So I'm not wrong. I just some people don't have the capacity or may have moral biases towards certain things, or you're just welcoming in criticism, so especially and some people I do tell it's not a big deal, but the point is that I get a very strong indication that this person in some way will not understand, will not completely be able to recognize what you're saying. And I feel like the more that you say, the more problematic you're bogging it down. Like too much information can really bog down, and if there's like a distrustful or questioning energy here, if there's a distrustful, then maybe without even knowing it, you might be validating their that paranoia, right? Okay, so here is the next message. King of Cups, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. I think that you have become, this is another message for you guys. There's a lot of changes happening here. I feel like there's a change in the nature of a relationship with someone. And this wouldn't have been a positive experience. So those of you who have a negative experience in love, I think it's changing for the better. For those of you who have like an adoration, like this person adores you and doesn't seem to be able to let you go, this person, and you're an unwilling participant in somebody's love for you, that sort of thing, that's breaking down finally. So this is, if you have someone, I'm not saying the S word, I'm saying like if somebody just loves you more and you don't love them, or it's friendship and it's not mutual, this is changing, this is breaking down. If you're free from the responsibility towards this person, there's an improvement in someone's disposition towards you. So if there is someone who has a begrudging attitude towards you and seeking to that you can't do right by them, that is also changing quite dramatically. So either you've proven yourself or they've seen something about you, and I think their opinion of you is changing. And you may be receiving a message of clarity from this type of person. Again, if you're dealing with a man, there's a lot of like reminiscing, there's a lot of like good old times sort of frequency. Here is the next message. We have the Eight of Cups. So I feel as though there's a new opportunity that is exciting to you right here. There's something on the horizon. Someone is spelling it out for you, but you have a calling. I think many of you are going in a completely different direction now. I told you guys in the full moon reading in August, and I have those up if you want to check it out, that essentially the second part of the year is a new path. And it really is for many people. Energetically, the first part of the year until the end of August, and I know that's like 8 months and not 6, that doesn't matter so much. But that part was connected to 2020 so intensely. And now there's a departure. And you can see that in the news, people, changing pace and, passing new laws or passing things more aggressively, the things in the Middle East that are happening. They sort of changed, the pace has sort of changed. And, the people who are good-willing are moving forward in one direction. And we can also see the people who have, I feel as though people, all people, good or bad, have gotten a deeper grip on what's going on in the world. And so I feel like they are going with that now in the direction that they choose, right? So you are going in this new direction. What I can pick up about it is that it's very successful. You're literally turning your back on certain things. And I think many of you don't even see it yet in front of you fully, what it's going to be. But you have a very deep pull, and it's connected to things that you do. So if you are a mechanic, you'll just get really into fixing cars, and you'll get very focused on it, and new ideas will come into your head, and you'll very much be drawn to this direction. And just to use our mechanic example, there could be someone around you who's encouraging you in that direction. It's much more than you expect it to be. So it's going to be much more abundant, much more robust, much more positive. I'm excited for you. And you're meant to sort of lose interest in some things that are happening now in lieu of going in this new direction. Then we have the 3 of Pentacles. This is very nice. I think that there's questions about work and the direction you're going, but I think you should follow your passion and follow exactly what you're doing in a tangible way. Like, I have this rock here today just for aesthetic reasons, but I like it. I like normal rocks too. Anyway, so I have this normal, and you can, rocks have a power to them, right? Speaking of Virgo season and the Virgo new moon, rocks have a power to them. So you hold the rock. It has a very grounding energy. This is your rock. What you do, what you genuinely do, who you are, how you contribute to the world, that is very, very grounded at this time and leads you to success. And this is saying, don't worry necessarily about how to manifest that. Worry about that later. Worry about where you'll fit in later, and really put in some effort into what you're doing now. So don't worry so much about the outcome. Don't worry about fitting in especially. Focus on what you are doing and ground that in now. And so success comes to you that way. 4 of Cups. Okay, so a pleasant, happy surprise for some of you. A surprise comes out of nowhere, a gift, celebration, joy, and happiness. So a pleasant turn of events. This person will turn around and be very positive for you later on as a consequence of this energy. They may be offering something positive to you, but keep your mouth shut with them. They're in kind of a weird spot. It's not that I'm being hard on this person. They're in a weird spot in terms of this energy. So keep your head down, right? Keep working, ignore. Inquiring minds want to know sort of stuff, but they're not prepared to hear. So then we have the World. I think that you just need to open yourself up to the best possible energy. I think that your success comes in diversification this time, bringing in lots of different ideas and transmissions, downloads, right? I just wanted to mention that I film these before I do the astrology. I do this for a reason, just to give you guys an intuitive hit. I am familiar with what's going on astrologically, but I haven't really figured it out in depth, and there's little nuances. In fact, this helps me understand that. So I kind of do it that way. So so in lieu of that, I think that like opening up and trying different things, going beyond what's in front of you is a big win right now. So focus on that. Don't worry about love. There's a strong message here of allowing love to come in for you. Allow love to come in for you on its own time. Let it work out. Let it work itself out. Let it work through its frequencies. On the bottom, I wasn't looking, I promised, Two of Cups. So loving energies. Even this card, let's not waste the Two of Cups, shall we? Okay, so Two of Cups. There's a loving energy with this person, somebody coming in to help. Even this person, which I was a little sketched out on, they too have a very good energy ultimately. There's a general area of love. This person is not a toxic form of one-sided relationship. They just really, really love you. Whoever it is, it's a nice energy. You're not going to lose someone who's important, but I do feel, for those of you who feel uncomfortable by that one-sidedness, like a friend who wants to be more, that is going to change. And I think that you'll get your break and you'll get an opportunity to, go in a positive direction. Overall, your environment is improving. This is the only reverse card we got, and I kind of honor them if they show up in a reading. I don't create reversals. I just go with the flow. So Five of Wands in the reverse is a very positive omen of improvement in social relationships, people getting on the same page and things improving like that. So I'm not sure what section I'm going to throw in next. It's probably the activated chart positions. So just go into that. But if you just jump to this reading and want to know the actual order of what I'm doing, then please watch the intro. And members, I'm going to do the extended for you now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to make the energy real. Members, one more thing. I know you guys have been waiting for your extended love readings, the rest of 2021 preview. I've had to reschedule them a little bit. So if you go into your Lenormand reading for the rest of 2021, I have the dates up specifically when each sign will get done, okay? It'll be this week, the week I'm filming. Anyway, happy new moon. Let's keep going with the video. Okay, thank you. Bye. Hey everyone, so I wanted to do an astrological summary. What this is a very condensed version of my astrology video that I did for you a couple days ago. If you're interested in what I'm saying here, I suggest you watch that video because it goes into the mechanics of where these messages come from. Some people don't like hearing about all the transits, so I want to make it very comprehensive and easy for you. So I've removed all the technical sides of the transits, the planets, the angles, and so forth, and just brought the information to you here. But it is just a surface level explanation, so if you want to know more or if something's very resonant, then I suggest you watch the astrology video. That will go in depth about what's going on and why and how and etc. So this new moon that's happening on September 6th, 2021 in Virgo at 14 degrees carries the energy of love and compassion, change and transformation. Now the love and compassion here is much more open than it was like for love, like romantic love only, although romantic love is a part of this new moon as well. This is because Venus has the strongest position for this new moon. And so she brings to everything positivity for change, hope, and optimism. Many of you are drawn into new directions, and so embrace those. They're going to be blessings. Many of you are turning away from the past and really moving towards new things. Finally regrouped after 2019, and 2020. It's a time to focus on what you are doing well and what is well for you in your life and double down on those frequencies. So go and do those things. Now this new moon carries the frequency of Mercury, as it is the second transit on a kite formation that I talked about in the astrology. So Mercury here is actually vocalizing the desires that have stirred in your heart through the summer and into early September. So within you, there's a recognition that there's some new version of yourself that is emerging, and that whatever has happened in the past was an expression of some part of you that now has become antiquated and needs to be released. Some of you are still feeling exhaustion from this. I mentioned the myth of Sisyphus, which talks about completing a repetitive action over and over again in hopes of a resolution. It's very similar to the Hanged Man card in the tarot. So many of you have been pushing ahead without too much give, and that is a point of feeling tired. And so this new moon sparks a stepping beyond that point. Now I have some messages for specific areas of your life that I'll get into now. So this is a message for women and women dealing with women. Or if you are not a woman and you're dealing with women, then this may be insightful for you as well. Women have taken on that exhaustion that I was just talking about, and it has really affected many of us. I think more women than men rely on social networks. And so when there's powerful changes, we all feel that individually for the collective. But that energy is lifting now and rest has come in. A lot of this has to do with people removing themselves from situations they no longer want to be in, and that is addressing a lot of exhaustion. Women's relationships with other women are improving at this time, and especially in close relationships such as family relationships. If there's built up resentment, that is being alleviated as well. The message that there's a great desire from everyone to reconnect is happening over and over again in all the readings I'm doing. I think that there is a huge theme in 2021 of that energy, because people are figuring out what matters the most: heart and compassion, love and compassion. There may be people in your life who have a very guilty conscience towards you. They have a great desire to reconnect as well. Others will pull away somewhat at this time to understand your side of the situation. It is very likely that they have already pulled away. So if you're wondering why you're not being around someone, it's because they're thinking things through. Okay, so here are some messages for work. I know it's a cliche that work is like a Virgo thing, but there is a lot of energy around work right now and work issues resolving, particularly interpersonal issues at work between co-workers or subordinates and bosses. Things are working themselves out. One of the strongest messages was encouragement to talk about it, but being wary of what type of communication you're putting forward. So terse, compassionate, understanding communication with an openness, but also mindfulness that if you say too much, it could lead to miscommunication. And what you're looking for here with your coworkers is finding new ground, restructuring things, regrouping, and looking forward together. So it's a real community experience of reorganization, but with that compassionate slant also. So if you could not give two craps about Susie in the cubicle next to you, it's very likely that your attitude has changed. Maybe you still don't care too much, but there is a level of awareness there that maybe hasn't been there before, or a deeper awareness if you already cared about Susie and so forth, or maybe Susie cares about you a bit more. Now, for some of you, this will be actually a breaking point. So if you're in an environment that isn't restructuring or reorganizing, you might be prompted to actually turn your back on this environment if it's not in alignment with what you've recognized about yourself. So you're literally going in a different direction. If you go in a different direction at this time, it will be a positive one. Just be wary of Menkar, unexpected changes and shifts and energetic potholes. Menkar is a sea creature underneath the ocean. It's a whale, and so its energy that represents the star that is with the planet Uranus at this time has like a level of the unexpected. So if you are starting to hear that da-da, da-da music or something like that, then maybe it's a time to get out of the water. For now, you can go back out later. Okay, so let's talk about men. Now, if you're a man, this may be for you, or if you're dealing with men, this may be for you as well. So there's definitely overcoming conflict with men as well. With men, it sounds or it feels a lot more direct, more to the point. If you're dealing with men at this time, many are reminiscing. So if there's been a separation between you and men, they're reminiscing hard about getting reconnected with you and wanting to bring you back from the past, or at least reconnect and talk. This is exacerbated by the fact that we're entering the Mercury retrograde period, and so people will want to rehash things from the past, not just in love. That's a misnomer that Mercury retrograde brings ex-partners back. That's a misunderstanding of that energy. I mean, it will bring people back, but it's not the main point. But all sorts of people, love, platonic, family, your ex-dog, everything. You may also actually receive gifts at this time. Unexpected gifts, little trinkets to sizable gifts, particularly from men. So if you know a man who likes to give, it's very likely that they're going to give you something. But again, it has that level of the unexpected, which is kind of fun as well. A nice surprise. There's also a message of dealing with people who are skittish. So if you're dealing with a skittish man who has sort of run away, went to hide or whatnot, they may come back around. Okay, so here is a message for love. The biggest message that was going on was there was someone who had like big hots for you. And if you're in this situation, they may have been pestering you a bit. I'm not talking about something over the line. And so if somebody's been pestering you in love a little bit, I think they're gonna finally give you a break and let you go or give you some breathing room. Other than that, there is a couple good energies for love at this time. Expect little miracles of love, just like the gift giving, unexpected tokens of affection, nice words being said, hearing from someone out of the blue. There's just little breakthroughs in understanding between couples. A lot of people's love is resetting. It's kind of like a Venus reset or a heart opener energy. So people are getting in touch with what they want and they're following through in all walks of life, all parts of life. There's also a lot of removal of blockages at this time, especially like obstacles in your way. So if there have been obstacles to love in your life, those blocks can be removed, and some of those blocks may be personal. There's a recent opposition from Venus to Chiron, and other inner planets are forming this opposition soon. So not just you, but a lot of people are overcoming their hang-ups, their shyness, and all these things. And that will lead them to be more open to love, more daring, more just open to show love, to receive love, and that will follow through. I have one little extra tidbit of information. There was a lot of info about homes and houses. So if everything else is a wash, try to make your house a little cozy home. Try to put some energy into your home at this time. Focusing on your home leads to success at this time, so you may not see how that's going to transform for you, but once you do, there will be positive consequences to that. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed this. We made it in 12 minutes, yeah. And yeah, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for activated chart positions. Bye. Activated points and activated chart positions. This is a list of points that may coincide with your birthday or other significant event. If I mention a date that is meaningful to you, that means that the current transit is in some way interacting with that chart placement. If your dates are not mentioned, this just means that your natal transits are not activated by the current astrological transit, and only your inner planets or a regular zodiac reading is applicable. This is not an exhaustive list, so there may be other transits in your chart that are interacting in some way, but for a general reading, this is as close as we can get to a specific reading for your chart. Specifically, look to inner planets that this does not fully encompass. Personal transits are Mars, Venus, Mercury, Moon, and the Sun. Those are best understood through the regular zodiac readings. If you have placements along the dates that I'm giving, same year but a different month or season, this means that you're probably under some degree of this transit, but not the whole thing. I introduced the concept of seasons a little while ago. Basically, the transits we're talking about don't last a couple days and they go back and forth with retrograde cycles. So it's just a general idea of where that exact placement is. If you're hearing these messages, it's very likely that the consequences of whatever is going on that is activated by this transit will have consequences on your life, positive consequences, or negative ones sometimes, for several months or even a year. And of course, this is in the northern hemisphere, so if you're in the south, please convert that to your season. So if I say fall, that means your spring, but the calendar date is the same. The only other situation showing up again for you to revisit. And if it's been an ongoing situation, this is a time in which you say goodbye to it. You let it go. I hope you are enjoying this. Let me know in the comments how you feel about it. It's a new thing on YouTube, so let me know how you feel. Okay, so let's begin. So our first set of transits are powerful points of change. If you were born in 1952 in the wintertime, 1953 in the spring, 1982 in the autumn, 2011 in the autumn, 2012 in the spring or summer, this is a very special transit for you. A lot is going right in your life at this time. A lot is falling into place. And if it's not doing that yet, then you can push it a little bit to try to make it fit. This is a good take charge moment in your life to make your life structurally the way that you want it to be. Now, I want to say something about this because this is Saturn exalted in Libra in the last 5 degrees of Libra. In a previous video, I mentioned that it was in detriment. That was me misspeaking. I was referring to 1982 and 81, in which Saturn and Jupiter were conjunct in Libra. And I was thinking of Jupiter when I said Saturn. So a few of you asked me about that because you have Saturn in Libra. That's a really good position for Saturn. But for those of you who were born in 1981, that coincides with the Chinese year of the rooster, which complements the Jupiter transit in Libra. And many of you who have that placement have to work really hard to get to where you're at. And there may be many obstacles that other people don't have to deal with to achieve the things you want to achieve. But the trade-off is that you're really hard workers and that you become extremely successful later on in life. So it's a well-earned success. So you see how I flip them around. But yeah, it's definitely Saturn exalted. If you have Saturn in Libra, you're good. And if you have Saturn in the last decan of Libra, which is 20 to 30 degrees, so my apologies for causing any heart attacks out there. You're good. You're good to go. Okay, so if you were born in 1946 in the winter time, or in the spring or autumn, 1957 in the winter time, 1958 in the spring or summer, 1969 in the autumn, 1981 in the autumn, 1993 in the autumn, 2005 in the autumn, or 2017 in the autumn, you have a lot of power to make changes in your life, and big miracles can show up for you at this time. So such things as circumstances that you could never get past, you might be able to get past now. So congratulations. Be on the lookout. It's a very good transit. It's a very rare transit. And especially when you take a look at the bigger picture, it's very rare. So carpe diem, seize the day. Okay, so now for some of you with personal planets, remember Venus, Mars, Mercury, Sun, rising sign, Moon. I know they're not planets, but whatever. Now, if they're in the third decan or decan or decan, I'm sorry, of Libra, which is 20 to 30 degrees, life is going to push you to make life changes. And the more that you've resisted that in the past, the more that it's going to come at you now. But don't worry about it. It's not a bad frequency. It's actually one that challenges you towards improving your life. Okay, I usually save these for last. So if you don't like cautionary tales, jump to the next slide. You can cursor over to it. But the next set of transits have some feedback that some people may find triggering, so let's talk about it, okay? So if you were born in 1950 in January specifically, 1961 in the spring or winter, 1973 in the summer or autumn, 1985 in the spring or autumn, 1997 in February, 2009 in February, you may be up against some challenges that turn out to be possibilities. Specifically, some things that come to you naturally and very well, whether it's friends or money or whatever else, for a short period of time is going to experience a hiccup. So suddenly it's not so easy to get people to come out, or suddenly making money becomes a little bit more difficult. There's a blessing in disguise with regard to this, and the outcome is going to be wonderful. So just hold on tight, be patient, and if you are really attached to your privileges, you may struggle more, but just be very accepting of what's going on at this time. There will be positive outcomes to it. If you were born in 1953 in the spring, 1971 in December, 1990 in the summertime, or 2009 in the spring, you may be experiencing some types of limitations that are showing up in your life. Things that are taking away things that you enjoy or use or otherwise hold on to. And there will be some degree of limitations on things that you're not fully using in your life. So the excess is going to be removed. Okay, so third part of the cautionary tale is 1947 in December and January 1948, 1956 in the autumn, 1965 in the autumn, 1974 in the summer, 1983 in the summer, 1992 in the spring, 2001 in the winter time, 2009 in December, 2018 in the autumn. You may really want to rebel against authority at this time. Suddenly in your mind, it may seem like a good idea to fight back and push back against rules. I strongly discourage it. And you guys know how I read. I'm pretty easygoing and I don't necessarily give strong advice, but this is one that I don't think you should miss. So if something is irritating you and crawling underneath your skin and you just want to push back, I really suggest that you wait at least a month or two before you do anything. So no reactions, only responses, and give it time to breathe before you finally decide what you're going to do. Okay? Good luck. Okay, so we got through the cautionary tales and now we have the most blessed. So these are people that are experiencing the highest vibration of this transit. So this is the best of the best. If you were born in 1949 in the autumn, 1950 in the spring or summer, 1979 in the summer, 2008 in the autumn, or 2009 in the spring, you are going through a huge reversal of fortune. You're very lucky that the new moon is in this position, especially if you've been dealing with curses. Like I said in the astrology video, your energy, your hex break, you're going to be freed of negative energy. It's a real miracle moment. Now, this can be esoteric, magic, hexes, curses, or it could just be bad luck or a consequence of bad circumstances in the past. So it's a reversal of fortune leading to a better outcome, and especially on things that are limiting you. Congratulations. I love these happy ones. That's all I want to tell you guys is the good ones. Okay, so if you were born in 1944 in the autumn, 1956 in the autumn, 1968 in the summer, 1980 in the summer, 1991 in the autumn, 1991 in the winter, 1992 in January, 2003 in the autumn, 2004 in the spring or summer, or if you have an event from 2016 in the spring or summer, one of your biggest wishes might be coming true at this time. This is your time to make your wish. And if you practice any kind of energy work, this is the best time to cast spells of good luck. So use this new moon wisely, and specifically at 5:51 Pacific on September 6th or 8:51 Eastern September 6th, and then east of that figure out at what time your new moon is happening. I listed that in the astrology video actually, so you can go refer to that if you wish. Anyway, make your wish, okay? Congratulations. The third group is personal planets, so this will affect more of you. If you have personal planets in the second decan of Virgo, that's 10 to 20 degrees. Or if you have placements in Taurus and Capricorn between 10 and 20 degrees, you have extreme good luck with this new moon. So go celebrate, go have fun, go live your best life, and happy birthday to you Virgos out there. Okay, so this part has to do with logos, which means the word in Latin. If you don't know, all energy work begins with the word. It's kind of like in Christian iconography. God spoke and let there be light or whatever, right? If you hear your placements mentioned here, you may want to go back to the astrology video that I did. It's in the cards in the description because it explains the mechanics of what's going on with your transits a bit more. So you want to pay attention to those specific information if you want to know more. But just for general information, if you were born in 1951 in the autumn, 1952 in the spring or summer, 1981 in September, 2010 in autumn, 2011 in the spring or summer, you are being given an amazing opportunity to push away from the things that are holding you back. This is a very rare transit, maybe once in a lifetime, so I would really recommend that you put some concerted effort behind emancipating yourself. Now, if you're a perfectionist and want all or nothing, then maybe your ambition's a bit too high. But any kind of moderate desire to push your life ahead will gain significant momentum behind it. Okay, so if you were born in 1940 in the autumn, 1959 in the spring, 1977 in the winter time, 1978 in January, 1996 in the summer, 2015 in the spring, a fateful event may happen that can change everything for you. So put yourself out there, in other words, and see what happens. There's no guarantee with this transit, but there could be a lot of breakthroughs in your life. Okay, so last is the personal planets: Mars, Mercury, Venus, Moon, Sun, rising sign. I know they're not planets. Now, if you have those personal planets in the second decan, which is 10 to 20 degrees of Libra, also if you have 10 to 20 degrees Capricorn, Aries, or Cancer planets, you will desire to speak your truth a lot at this time. So if there's something that's really disharmonious in your life, like stuff's going in a weird way, then you will want to really address that and speak to that. So the more that things are out of place, the more you will want to say something, be it at work or to a friend or to a family member, even to your partner. Okay, so this transit is called Beyond the Shroud, and the shroud represents the unseen in esoteric thought. It goes beyond astrology. It actually has a lot to do with Christian iconography, but we'll not get into that right now. But it's basically the land of illusion, the land of dreams, the land of intuition. Very Piscean, right? So if you were born in 1966 in the spring, 1995 in the spring or autumn, or 1996 in January, you may have a lot of intuitive hits right now about who you are, and a new version of yourself may be emerging. The interesting thing about this transit that you may find is that the person who is emerging, if someone who you've always been, so it's going to be like, oh, I always known that about myself, but it's going to come through your subconscious. So it's going to be cool. But be wary, this is not a great time for you in terms of structure in your life. So if you need to do certain things, you may want to take it slow and be very careful with like making agreements with people, signing documents and things like that. Make sure miscommunication may be an issue, so just really go slow because you're very much in la la land, in dreamland, etc. Now, if you were born in 1945 in the summer, autumn, 1946 in January or May, 1975 in the summer, 2004 in the summer, 2005 in February, 2005 in the springtime, you might be getting a lot of clarity on a relationship that you're currently in or one in the past, especially things that have been evasive for you. So things you didn't understand, like why did it happen that way or why it played out like that. So that relationship might be making sense, or you might have an interaction with someone, or you may gain information that will clarify that for you, and you'll be like, oh, now I understand. So it's usually one or two things in your life that stick out as very like mysterious or you don't understand. So this is one of those things, especially to do with romance, but it could be other things as well, other forms of relationships that just don't make sense. Also, it could be like, why am I always like this with people, or why do I have this type of relationship. You might gain an insight about yourself. It's all positive, and I hope that it gives you strength in your relationships. If you were born in 1955 in the spring, summer, or autumn, 1984 in the autumn, 1984 in the winter, 1985 in the summer, 2014 in January, spring, or autumn, this is a time when you may gain a very powerful insight about where you need to be. So if you feel out of place in your life, like you're in the wrong place or around the wrong ideas, the wrong types of information, this transit may give you some left field suggestion like, oh, go there, or oh, good, go do that. So be open to that. And again, all three of these beyond the shroud people, or like groups of people, need to be very open at this time and be open to experiences, because those experiences become opportunities for that energy to reach you. So be very open to the world around you at this time, and I wish all you well. There's one more transit that I wanted to mention, and it's specific to the 70s. So if you have an event in 1971 in the spring or autumn, 1972 in February or spring, or if you were born then, you might be in the pressure cooker at this time. So you're doing well, and all things considering, it's supposed to be a little tough right now for you. It doesn't last forever. I would say within a couple months, things are going to die down. This is the eye of the storm. And if you had an important event at that time, then the impact and the consequences of that event may become revealed to you now, or you may gain deeper understanding on those issues. Okay? Thank you guys so much for being here with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. Do you guys want me to do these as individual videos once in a while, where we go through all the activated points at a given time and just break it down for you guys? Or do you have any other questions or suggestions? Let me know in the comments. Members, you are always so thanked for being members, for supporting me, and I wish everyone well, and thank you for being here with me today.